For all my people who still watch wrestling, welcome to episode 10 of Yes, We Still Watch Wrestling. I'm Steve Dent.
What's good, people? It's your boy Shaq. How y'all feeling?
Hope everybody's good, man. Hope everybody's having a good week.
Yeah, man.
We officially back to two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Soon it will be three with that announcements coming later on.
Yeah, the
Um,
third the third man has been signed. Don't worry about our guy. He's here.
we have
He's
it.
in the building.
There's
But
a
when we're ready to let you know, you'll know who the third man
the
is.
third, yeah, we got somebody who's going to be joining us on a consistent basis. With this, we've been dropping the episodes on Wednesdays. May push it back to Thursdays, but we'll let y'all know more. So we are expanding.
Yeah,
Yes, we still watch wrestling, but for today, it's me and Shaq, man. The last couple episodes has been just me. So glad to have my tag team partner back.
yeah, man.
Um,
Back from vacay, man. Like this. I got out of Jamaica just in time, man.
yeah, man. So we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot that we need to get into in regards to the world of wrestling, man. So let's get into it, man. We're gonna open our opening match for the night, the opening card, I should say. Um, talk about John Cena. We're gonna go ahead and dive to that whole debate. So
Doo, 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 doo.
so man, by now everybody should know because it wasn't even just on Bleacher Report or WWE. It was on ESPN.
ESPN,
It
yeah.
was on all outlets, man. As we know, John Cena is one of those transcendent superstars who's bigger than wrestling.
Hmm.
He's officially, I mean, of course, he's not the actor that The Rock is, but he's officially The Rock status. I would even say he's Hulk Hogan Stone Cold status. He's announced his retirement. So he might be the first person, the first wrestler ever to have a retirement tour. Well, Sting had one. Sting did have
Yes,
one,
they have one.
but he didn't really announce his retirement. He announced when his last match was gonna be. John
Hmm.
Cena about to do a whole tour. He got a whole outline of what's about to happen. LeBron, not LeBron, Kobe Bryant
Kobe.
style. So
Dirk did one.
Dirk did
You
do
know,
one. So with that being said, man, a lot of predictions right now in regards to what this should look like. In regards to who his feud should be, who he wrestles. Um, you know what? Did Kurt
I don't
Angle
think
do one? Now that I think about it,
Kurt Angle had a last match and they kind of wasted it.
he
I
had
think.
like he had like weekly matches where he wrestled who he wanted to wrestle and then ended it at WrestleMania 35 it was with Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that it was 35. I can't remember. But I agree. But anyway, so it's a lot of debate on not only what this should look like, but should he actually be the one to break Ric Flair's? He's tied with Ric Flair right now as a 16-time world champ. Should he
Hmm.
get 17? So that's a debate as well. So what's your thoughts on obviously we knew John Cena retirement was coming, so it wasn't a surprise to anybody.
It was a surprise to me. I didn't know he was just going to announce it like that. It was a
Yeah.
surprise to me. On that
It
show, it was a surprise. I thought they would have announced it on like Raw, like appearing on Raw, John Cena with a special announcement. Had they did that, we would have known what was coming. But for them just to spring it on us like a surprise, I
I mean
wasn't expecting that.
I will say that we wasn't expecting that money in the bank, so you
Right.
are right about that. But yeah, what's your takes on John Cena retirement, man? And what should this look like? What should this retirement tour look like? Should he actually break Ric Flair's record?
Um, as of right now, like I want to say no because the the championship is supposed to be something special, right? So if they give Cena the championship now, it's sort of like they're just doing it just to do it. Like we know it won't be a meaningful run,
Mm,
and that sort of, let's just say he wins the title, right?
mm,
That sort of eliminates a whole bunch of people who he's going to feud with.
Mm-hmm.
right? Because now we know if he wins the title, he's not going to feud with an up and comer. And I have a video. We have a video dropping on this topic soon to let me know that like I don't want that to happen because if it does happen, it's only a certain select few people who they're going to let win the title because I don't think Cena's old school, and if he wins the title, he's not going to leave with the title. He's going to go out. He's going to put somebody over, and that person is going to be the new champion. Like for nostalgia purposes, I think it's cool. I think it'd be dope if he'll have the record, but I don't want him to just for the fact that it's going to hinder a lot of things that they want that they could do with his final feuds, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. For me, my answer is absolutely not. He's sitting, but um, like for the same reasons that you said, like the world title's got to mean something, right? Now they could do what they did. I give you one scenario where it could work. Because I don't know if you remember Randy Orton's interview. I forgot who he interviewed with WrestleMania weekend, and he said openly that he doesn't know how it would happen, but he would love to have one more match with Cena at WrestleMania for the world title. I don't. They've wrestled at WrestleMania in a triple threat. They've never had a one-on-one match at Mania. Most of their major matches been SummerSlam. I think they had
Yeah,
one in No Mercy, but never WrestleMania.
right,
So how it could work is they could, and I'm not saying Cena versus Orton. I don't think that should happen at next year's Mania. But how it could go is what they did the year that he beat AJ Styles at the Rumble. He beat AJ Styles at the Rumble to tie the record, and then the next month at Elimination Chamber, they used him to put not John Cena, Bray Wyatt over, and Bray Wyatt won the title at Elimination Chamber. Now, obviously, they wasted that moment because Bray Wyatt had no business losing at WrestleMania 33 to Randy Orton.
right. Agreed.
But they could do it that way. Not at Mania, so it shouldn't happen at Mania, but sometime between now and I wouldn't even say now. I would say sometime between November and February. He could win it, maybe have the title for a couple weeks to a month, and then lose it. And when he wins it, it can't be clean. That's the other thing too. Like maybe you put him in a triple threat, maybe you put him in a favorite four way, maybe you have him beefing with somebody like let's say a Drew McIntyre. I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe
Right, right, right.
Drew
Yeah,
McIntyre got the belt. CM Punk comes out, calls some whatever, and sets up another match between them two. So if they do it, it can't be clean. So I don't have a problem with it necessarily. Just depends on how I do it. But if you're asking me, no.
right.
I think he should go out the way that Kurt Angle did. I think he should have matches against people that he's wanting to work with, put those people over, and go out and kind of like how he used to do the U.S. Open
That's
Challenge.
I was thinking he could do like a John Cena Open Challenge type
John Cena
deal.
Open
Just
Challenge,
yeah,
man. Yeah, I think that's how it should go. But I wouldn't necessarily be too mad at it as long as they use it to put somebody else over. Which, if John Cena is gonna do it, he's gonna use it to put somebody else over. But we know if it's one of the belts, it's the World Heavyweight Championship. He's not
true.
winning the WWE Undisputed title.
Not
So
at
whoever
all.
thinks that is not happening. That belt is only between like three people right now, and that's Roman, Solo, and Cody. That's it. That's it. Randy Orton and Cody will have a great feud eventually, but nobody is expecting Randy Orton to beat Cody
Agreed.
whenever it does happen. So it's really only between those three people. Whether you agree with Solo being in the mix or not, that's a topic for another day. But he is in that mix. But so it would have to be the World Heavyweight Championship. So we'll see, man. I think this is gonna be real interesting. There's a lot of good
Yeah.
storylines going on right now, so it's gonna be real interesting,
There's
man.
only one right answer though, and you wait till the video drops, see if y'all agree with me.
Um, so as far as who he fused with or who he is last, obviously his last match is gonna be at WrestleMania 41.
Hmm.
As far as who's that match against, to be honest with you, I don't really know right now. A lot can happen between right now and next year's WrestleMania. And the last time they used John Cena to put somebody over, they almost wasted it. And that was
Hmm.
Solo. A lot of people, as big as us, I'm a big Solo fan. I don't care what
Yes, you
nobody says.
are.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
you are.
we'll talk about that later. I've been a Solo fan since day one, though. Um, but how can I put this, man? They had him destroy John Cena pause and then lose 23 straight matches, right? And the only thing that saved him was the bloodline storyline because he still well, matter of fact, I'll hold off on that opinion till later. I just hope this time when they use John Cena to put somebody over, they capitalize on the moment. So I honestly don't know, but if you putting a gun to my head and you asking me to say somebody right now, I would say somebody like Ilja Dragunov, or Braun Breaker, one of them two. One of them two. Um, yeah, I would go with
My
one of
answer,
them
my
two.
now, Braun is a very, very strong candidate, but I didn't pick him. And in the video, I explained why I didn't pick Braun at
I
all.
have a comment about your video. I'm just not making it right now. I don't.
Okay.
I understand your pick. I don't necessarily want to see it, but I'll explain it why later on. I'll explain. We'll wait till the video drops.
Hmm.
Um, let's get into the next thing real quick. So, um, I when I did episode 9, I talked about this topic a little bit. I didn't get your take. We haven't heard your take on this. So I want to hear your take on this real quick. Everything that's going on with the White Six right now, from their debut, because like I said, we haven't heard your take on that at all. You was on vacation, so from the debut to Monday with Eric Rowan's promo, what do you think about the Y6 and everything they're doing?
I love what they're doing so far, right? Like, I think it's dope. And like you said, that they can't be heels because who's going to boo them?
Nobody.
And then, like, who's going to boo them at this point, right? So that was a dope point that you made. I just have to say, it's still in the early stages where I just have to sit back and watch because we clearly know that Bo is Uncle Howdy, but we're seeing Bo waiting in Adam Pierce's office. We're seeing Bo walk around, and it's on Monday. He just got attacked in the ring. So I don't know. Like, is he an alter ego? Is he? Are they trying to say that he's not Uncle Howdy? I don't like. I don't know where it's going. I think it's dope so far, and they're making the connections to the real life tragedy of Bray passing with the wrestlers actually talking about it and was pushing them to do this. So I think it's great so far, and I'm just going to sit back and see how they can keep progressing it.
So, all right, so they have confirmed. I mean, Uncle Howdy is definitely Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
That's the alter ego. Like
right.
so, Bo Dallas alter ego is Uncle Howdy. They just did the mirror interview thing. But that is him. I'm interested. All right. So the one thing about Bray, rest in peace, Bray. The one thing about Bray was when it came to the promos, the vignettes, the videos, everything like that. Bray used to always knock those out of the park, like
Mm-hmm.
memorable promos and stuff like that. What hurt Bray is that his matches didn't always deliver.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that he doesn't have any classic matches. Him and Daniel, like I seen somebody post a video of people who never had a bad match against each other. Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan should have been in that because they've never had a bad match together. So Bray does have great matches, classic matches, and stuff like that, but they didn't always happen when needed. Being, I'll give you two
Mm-hmm.
examples for those who need reference. His debut match, against Kane in the Inferno match. That match was kind of lackluster. His debut match when he came back as just himself, that dark match against LA Knight was kind of lackluster.
That match was
Um,
trash.
so with that being said, whenever they do finally step in the ring, it needs to deliver. Doesn't necessarily have to be a classic, but you can't give us a boring or lackluster match. Now, here's the one thing, and me and Jasper was actually talking about this yesterday, and he's right, and I've always felt like this too. I personally believe, and you can give me your take on this real quick. I've always felt Bo Dallas was the better in ring wrestler between him and Bray.
I
Bo
agree.
for those who don't remember, like Bo Dallas can actually wrestle. His character just didn't get him over the top, but
Hmm.
he can go. If you got any questions about that, go to NXT. Go to NXT Takeover One, I believe. Him versus Neville for the title. Go back and watch that match. Like Bo Dallas can go. And matter of fact, you don't even have to go that back that far. Look at how he was selling Monday when he got attacked by the Creed brothers. Like he was selling. So I that does give him an advantage, but that's my only worry, man. Like whenever they do step in the ring, I think their debut is gonna be at SummerSlam. At first I was thinking it was gonna be Chad versus Uncle Howdy, but it's gonna be a 6-man tag. Another question that I have is we know like once Bo Dallas gave his reasons, we knew what Eric Rowan's reason was gonna be.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
video he just cut was just made it even better. I'm interested to see when they finally let Joey Gacy and Dexter Loomis talk. I'm interested to see exactly what their reasoning is, like how they do that. So I'm sure they're gonna do it well, but I'm interested to see that. And also, I think the missing piece in all this, everybody from what I've been seeing online, everybody believes the sixth member is Bray Wyatt in spirit. I don't believe that one bit. I still think it's Alexa Bliss. I
Maybe
think,
Bliss.
yeah, I think it's just long term storytelling. She's been seen backstage at Raw twice, and that's not a coincidence whatsoever. So I think it's going to be a slow bit. I think personally, I think what's going to happen, I think she's going to come back as Little Miss Bliss, and then I think Uncle Howdy is going to start to like stalk her and recruit her, and then eventually she's going to join up with them. So we gonna see, man. We're gonna see what happens with them. Like you said, we got to wait and see what's going down. It's a slow build up. I wish they would have got into that brawl with the Creed brothers and
Hmm.
Chad Gable, but long term
No, that's
storytelling.
it's a long term story. We got a
No,
while to go with that.
we got a while to go, man. So props to them and what they're doing. Another topic I want to touch on real quick. Um, Monet versus Baker. I got a question for you.
Hmm.
Was it the right call to make Baker the face and Monet the heel?
Yeah, it was because the fans started to turn on Monet. So they
Mm-hmm.
started turning on her. They started to boo her,
Mm-hmm.
and like the natural heel, which I think that's her best character to play is a heel.
Mm-hmm.
She led right into it. Like she started feeding into it, and like the pro that she is,
Mm-hmm.
she started playing the part. So I think it's perfect. If the fans are already turning, and you have one of the pillars coming back, and they're obviously going into a program against each other,
Mm-hmm.
why not have the person the fans are booing be the heel and have her lean into it? So yeah, I believe it was the right call.
Okay. I agree with you for the record. I was just, I agree. Even though I think Baker is better at being a heel,
I
um,
don't. I can't see that.
I,
Yeah.
I like no. When I say better, I'm not talking about better than Monet. I just think for her,
Heel? Oh,
yeah, I
yeah,
think
she's
she's a
better at
better
being a
heel
heel. Okay.
than a face. But for this, it was a right call because of her place in AEW. Monet is new, so it's easy for fans to turn on her. But I don't think she's the. I don't think neither one of them is the hottest woman in AEW right now. I think the hottest woman in AEW right now is officially Mariah May. Uh
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, like after because I was watching AEW Dynamite and I wanted to see that match between her and Willow. And after the match,
How Willow?
and then after the match, for those of you who didn't see it, she turned on Tony Storm.
Timeless Tony Storm.
And so, as soon as the match was over, because obviously the stipulation is that the winner gets a title shot at All In. So, as
Right.
soon as the match was over, I'm like, okay, how they gonna do this? And then we got our answer right away, and it was the way that they did it. I think it put her over the top. I think Mariah May, because of that moment, is not only the hottest woman in AEW. I think she's the hottest entity in AEW right now. I think a lot of people are going to tune in tonight.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
I don't think anybody has a better character than Tony Storm right now.
no,
Nobody,
I'm
like
just saying.
nobody.
All right, me and you don't agree on that. I don't agree on that.
I
I
don't
think
think
Total
anybody has
Storm
a better character
character
than
is
Tony Storm.
phenomenal. She's phenomenal.
Nobody has a better character than that.
She does phenomenal work. I don't necessarily agree with that, but what I'm saying is that Mariah May right now she's just the hottest thing going because of that moment. Now it all depends on the promo she delivers tonight. Now
Hmm.
she got to capitalize on what she did last week, but if she delivers a night, she's the most interesting thing in AEW in my opinion. Tonight's gonna be a stat card. You got MJF versus Will Ospreay. Swerve is who is for Swerve fighting? Um Okada. Swerve versus
Hmm.
Okada tonight. So they got a stat card, but the thing I'm interested in the most, as much as I want to see those two matches, I want to see Mariah May's promo. I think she's the hottest thing going. Now, as far as that character thing, I once again she does phenomenal work. If you when Roman Reigns comes back, he's the number one character in all of wrestling. I don't think that's debatable. I don't. Yeah, I mean, you talk about somebody who went from being villainized terribly to being a heel, and now everybody is anticipating his return. When he returns, and matter of fact, we can go ahead and get into SummerSlam right now, because that was the next topic anyway. When he returns, he's gonna have the loudest. Let me think about this before I say it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I said his return is going to be the loudest pop in WWE history in the past 10. I even stretch it back 15 years. That pop is going to be crazy. It's going to be insane. It's going to be
Like,
louder than
no, okay. Like, so it's
when he returns at
like
SummerSlam.
I'm trying to put in words like, is it going to be? I'm not doubting that it's going to be loud, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's going to be crazy, right?
Yeah,
Yes, right.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I also take into the consideration the increase in the number of fans between then and 15 years ago. Like that, I take it to consider because the loudest pop I've ever heard was when Stone Cold came out on that Monday Night Raw to help Mankind win the WWE Championship when he was getting jumped by the corporation,
Yeah.
and Stone Cold came out there. That pop, I've never heard nothing like that. That the roof blew off when that glass broke. All right, go ahead and listen to that pop again.
I
Like that
I
pop was insane.
I remember that.
Like it,
I
so
think
I take into account the amount of the difference. You going from an arena to a from an arena to a stadium. Like I'm not I'm like again, I'm not saying that that pop is not going to be insane.
mm,
I'm not saying that. I also take into consideration you adding about 30,000 more people.
it don't. I'm gonna tell you why that don't mean that. I'm gonna tell you why. The fans in France were louder than the fans in Philadelphia for WrestleMania. That's a fact. That's a fact. And it was 13,000, I believe, people in that arena compared to 60, 70,000 in Philly. They were louder in France than they were in Philly. And even if people want to discount night one because it was so cold, take into account night two, they were still louder. So it just depends on the crowd. And I mean, in general, I get what you're saying. Because I was about to say, I think the Hardy Boys' return at WrestleMania 33 was louder than the Stone Cold Pop. Stone Cold Pop was one of the loudest ones I've ever heard. That's in comparison to the CM Punk in Chicago.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah,
That CM Punk in Chicago joint. Even if you don't want to do the AEW joint, the first Money in the Bank match with him and Cena, that was very, very loud.
I would say him returning to AEW was louder than that.
I could see that
Like,
because of the anticipation. But I think this Romans pop, regardless of how many fans gonna be there in the stadium, I think it's gonna be the loudest pop in the past 10, 15 years. They're gonna go
that's
insane.
and I wouldn't argue with you. Like I'm trying to say, this is gonna be insane. Just
And,
I'm
and
also a nostalgic person. That Austin pop to save mankind was crazy.
and as much as I love Tony Storm, she could take a year off, and the return for her would be loud. It won't be nowhere near compared to what Roman Reigns would be. But even if the return was in North the scope in Norfolk with all 8,000, 6,000 of us, right? That pop will
I
still
think
be
8,000
crazy.
you overshooting, dog.
That hey, no. So I'm gonna give you proof. You talk about that. You talk about the
Yeah,
number of people.
I think 8,000 you overshooting,
Okay,
dog.
you know if you go to YouTube, they got the SmackDown that we went to when he fought Xavier Woods. They
Mm-hmm.
got that as top. I want to say in the top five for Roman Reigns' loudest ovations. So it's I don't it to me it doesn't matter where it's at. It could be an arena, it could be in the stadium. It's gonna be one of the loudest pops we've ever heard. And that speaks to his character work. Once again, much love to Tony Storm. I think she got a phenomenal character going. I would put her in my top three characters. She's probably two. I just can't put her over Roman when Roman's in town. I can't do that.
Won't argue.
I can't do that. But as far as SummerSlam, card
Mm-hmm.
looking to be almost final. So as of right now, we got
I will not be watching SummerSlam because I will
you
not be
gonna
in
watch.
attendance.
You
I'm
gonna
not
watch,
watching.
man.
I'm not reporting on it
You
either.
gonna
In
watch,
fact, I
man.
hope it rains on y'all. It's
You
gonna be
got lot. You
I'm
gonna
a
we
vicious
gonna we gonna
thunderstorm
we're gonna
down
need
in
you to hold the
Cleveland.
Twitch down. You can hold the
I hope
Twitch and the
no,
YouTube down.
because if I'm watching and the camera pans to you and I see y'all, I'm gonna break something. So I'm not gonna put myself through that.
Hey
Nope, nope, nope,
man,
nope.
nah, dog, you gotta watch, man. You gotta hold it down for
I
the
hope a
virtual people, man.
vicious thunderstorm comes through
It's
in
not happening,
Cleveland.
man. It's not happening.
Cause I'm
And even if it does, I have a poncho. It's cool.
you sat
I
you
have
sat in the
a,
you sat in the rain for
I've
a
sat in
minute
the rain
before.
before for a football game. I could do it for SummerSlam. Hey, but in regards to all right, so we got Bailey versus Nia Jax.
hmm
Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan is now
hmm
official. We got Cody versus Solo.
hmm
We have what's uh
Logan Paul versus LA Knight.
Logan Paul versus LA Knight, Gunther versus Damian Priest. It looks like
Triple threat for the IC belt.
triple threat for the IC, not official yet, but
With
that's what it looks like
Sammy,
it's shaping up to
Braun, and
be.
Ilya.
Yeah, Braun, Ilya, and
And
Sammy. Even though I saw one report that they're thinking about just having it as Sammy versus Braun, but I don't see why you involve Ilja if you're gonna do that. So I think it's gonna be a triple threat.
hmm
Um, we might see the Wyatt Six debut. We don't know which three. We don't know if it's gonna be Rowan, Dex, Joey, Bo, or Uncle Howdy. We don't know
hmm
which three, but it looks like they might make their debut against Alpha Academy 2.0. Um, so with that being said, the first match I wanted to talk about on the card though, um, pending clearance is Drew versus Punk. So
hmm
that's solidified um if Punk is clear.
It's clear.
My
Yeah.
my question for you is, what do you do with Seth Rollins? And I asked that question because Seth, in my opinion, just me personally, is the best wrestler on God Green Earth right now, and I think he has been for the past 3 to 4 years. That's just me. Um, So how do you leave him off the card? What do you do with him? Now, granted, he just came back from injury, so maybe he got to wait his
Hmm.
turn. It's a lot going on right now. They did
Hmm.
fit him into Money in the Bank. But do
Hmm.
you just completely leave Seth off the card? Or what do you do with Seth?
So, like, I don't see another match taking place. I don't see another, him being put into a program before SummerSlam starts
Mm-hmm.
because he's kind of involved in the Drew and CM Punk drama,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably like the best storyline going on right now, which is amazing. Um, I think I don't want to see the triple. I know you had mentioned you want to see a triple threat match, see all three of them.
Yeah.
Like I don't. So if Punk is cleared, right, either way or not, if Punk is cleared,
Mm-hmm.
you have the match and have Seth be the referee, or if he's not cleared, have Seth and Drew do the match and have Punk be the referee. That way, you can still keep all parties involved, and you can still do the screwy finish. Somebody costing somebody something. It could be for a number one contenders match, because all of them stayed claimed to be number one contender.
Right.
So it could go in. So I say do that, but I wouldn't want to see a triple threat match personally.
Okay. I mean, no, I that was a prediction. I don't want to see that either. For the
Okay,
record, I don't want to see that either.
my fault, my
I,
bad.
I was just the way it was going. I thought they was going to do that just to take some of the load off Punk if he's not 100%, so he won't have to do like a lot in the match. You got somebody else who can carry some of that weight. But I don't want to see that either. I think the storyline has been built on too much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it looks like they might leave Seth off the card, or he might be a guest ref. We'll see. Hopefully, Punk gets cleared, and then we don't have to speculate because Punk gets cleared, he's off the card unless they make him a guest referee. Um, I also want to say about that match because Punk hasn't been cleared as much as we would like it to be a classic, I think we got to manage our expectations on that match. Both of them are two great wrestlers, even right now.
Mm-hmm.
As far as in ring work, you probably would have them top 10, top 15 as far as in ring wrestlers. And I'm including all promotions, I'm not including WWE. You probably would still have them to top 10, top 15 in the world right
Very,
now.
very, very much so.
Right. So when if this was a normal circumstance, then the expectation would absolutely be classic. But I think it's unrealistic to expect that only because like Punk and for those of you watching, this is not just a storyline. Like he legit has not been cleared medically. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, I mean, you gotta be able to be. I mean, it looks like he's in decent condition, and if somebody could pull this type of feat off, right, it would be CM Punk. But I just manage your expectations, y'all. That's what I'm gonna say. Cause like I said, if he get cleared the week before the match is on, I think they'll still give us a great match. I think classic is a little bit beyond reach. I think the next time they wrestle, it'll be a classic. What you think?
I feel that Punk is in that class of people where he could go out there and have a good match with anybody.
Oh yeah.
He's just that good of a wrestler. Like Drew, Seth, and Punk, they're on that level of they're gonna put on a match. I don't believe that he probably can't take bumps or anything, but he's still doing his cardio. So his cardio will still be there. If he's cleared, the match will be very well. It won't lack anything. I won't tailor my expectations as long as he's cleared. If he's cleared the day before and they have a full 24 hours to go over the match or what they want to do, it'll be at least four. It'll be at least 4 stars.
And I think what I'm also factoring into it, he ain't look like he was in the best of shape at the Royal Rumble either.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
I'm also factoring that. He might be in better shape now, who knows? But I'm also taking that into account. I'm gonna manage my expectations on that match. Now I'm gonna be there, so I'm hoping it's a classic. Don't get me wrong, but
And I
uh,
still hope it is.
but I'm managing my expectations, man. All right, and in regards to SummerSlam, that was the one you got. SummerSlam legit has three matches that can main event. Obviously, we know what the main event will be. It's going to be Solo versus Cody. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Roman Reigns. They've already confirmed, it's been multiple reports that Roman will be back either by at SummerSlam or before SummerSlam. There's
Right.
no reason to bring him back before SummerSlam. It has to be at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
So that match is gonna be last. And then the other factor is Jimmy Uso. When you talk about that bloodline storyline, when is he coming back? Because he's been medically cleared. That's been confirmed. So he's due back any week. So I think you use him, bring him back in some way, and then have Roman come back at SummerSlam. So we know that's going to be the main event. But some people will make the argument that Liv Morgan versus Rhea could main event. So let's talk about that real quick. How you matter of fact, I was gonna do this later. I'm gonna do this right now. Let's take a pause on SummerSlam. I'm gonna ask you a question real quick. All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna see what you say. Okay. I'm gonna I want you to rank these four storylines. I want you to rank them in order. Liv, Dom, and Rhea,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Drew, CM Punk, Seth, and Damian Priest. You got to
Mm-hmm.
put the reason why you putting Damian Priest in there is because they still all chasing the World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, the Bloodline story with Roman versus Solo in the New Bloodline,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Wyatt sits with Chad Gable. Rank those four storylines.
All right, so I'm gonna go CM Punk Drew as number one.
Okay.
CM Punk Drew and Priest is number one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Bloodline number two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Rhea, Dom, and Liv number three, and Wyatt six at four.
Mm, that's good. I'm gonna go. I'm
You're gonna
actually
go Bloodline number one.
nah.
Oh,
Nah, because
mm,
Roman ain't back yet.
that's why it's not number one.
That's the
Yeah,
only
that's why
reason why
it's
it's not number
that's why
one.
it's not number one.
They've done a phenomenal job.
They've done a great job with it.
Yeah,
They've
they
done an excellent job.
which we're gonna talk about in a second. They've done a great job, but only because Roman's not back yet. I actually have Liv, Dom, and Rhea number one. I think only because that storyline has not only taken over WWE, but it's taken over social media. And even when Punk and Drew are in the same building together, or even when they have a program about that storyline, they're not in the main event. The main event week to week has been dealing with not only just the main event, but multiple segments in the show have been dedicated to Dom, Rhea, and Liv. And Rhea hasn't even been there. She just came back, which makes the storyline even powerful to me. Got somebody else in the storyline, and they were gone for like 2 months, and it's still main event worthy. And then when they come back, it completely takes over. And not only have it taken over WWE, but it's also taken over social media as well. Everybody, including myself, I'm guilty. Everybody has put out videos about Dom, Liv, and Rhea in some capacity. So I got that one, and then I have Punk and Drew and Seth two, Bloodline three, and then I got the Y6 at four. So that's my ranking. So um, Judgment Day wise, before we get into the Bloodline, Judgment Day wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does this end? And when I say how does this end, everybody's predicting the breakup. I think the breakup is bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen the video of the live shows recently, but
Mm-hmm.
Damian Priest has been doing baby face like things. Um, and Rhea is officially listed in WWE as a babyface now. So and then even with the rivalry between which is Nets. So save your exact opinion on Priest and got to save that for right now. But even with that build up, Priest is the face. So
Mm-hmm.
how does this end? When they officially break up, who sides with who? How does it end? How does the breakup happen? That I guess that should be quick. The question: how does the breakup happen?
I think Rhea and Dom. I think Rhea from the match. You have to send the Rhea versus Liv, and I think that Dom sides with Liv, and Rhea leaves the Judgment Day, and somehow, some way, Finn does something to try to be the real leader of the Judgment Day.
I
So
agree.
that means Damian Priest is out.
I agree. My we can get into the SummerSlam predictions the week of.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say early that Liv. I feel like
We can't because I'm not watching SummerSlam,
you
man.
are, man. Liv has to win this match. I believe she has to. Doesn't have to be clean. Matter of
She's a
fact,
hit.
it can't
Yeah,
be clean, but
yeah, yeah.
she has to win this match. Um,
And you can see the Dom heat is still back. If you watch Raw,
yeah.
like they're still booing him crazy. If he sides with Rhea, that goes away a little bit. Like you want to keep that going. You want to keep that Dom heat going for a
They
long time.
might, they might. So here, I, I think they could wait on that.
Mm-hmm.
It could happen eventually. So what they might do is they might do long term storytelling. You might have Finn Balor and them turn first. Dom might side with Rhea. So I give you a scenario. What if Rhea actually wins the match? Liv Morgan goes off like women's sports, like what I'm saying. She's angry now. She's vicious now. She's no longer playing games or whatnot, and She takes what she's been doing up three notches, right? With the pressure, with the way she acts in her matches and everything like that, and Dom could initially choose Rhea, and then Liv could slowly convince Dom to choose her. And then on either the second match they have on the third, Dom finally turns on Rhea. So I think it does happen eventually, but they could hold it off. And the reason why they could hold it off is because they might do the Finn turn first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Finn turn might happen at SummerSlam or Bash in Berlin. But the Finn turn is happening soon. I think, and I've said this before, the only thing I'm gonna switch up is exactly that. I think initially, because okay, at least what I hope is this not a one time match. I hope this is a
What
rivalry.
Liv versus Rhea?
Yeah, I hope this is a rivalry where they have multiple matches, right? So I don't think everything should happen at SummerSlam. I hope we have a build up. Now, if you do Dom turning on Rhea, then save the Finn turn. But I hope we get the Finn turn first, and then Dom turns on Liv eventually. How I would want it to go is Finn calls Damian Priest the match. Priest leaves Judgment Day, but Rhea and Dom are trying to patch things up. They trying to get everything like back in order with the Judgment Day or whatnot, and then eventually, what's stopping them is Liv Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Because Liv Morgan's having side conversations with Finn. She's still trying to win Dom over. And then eventually on that third match, Liv can win the title back. Dom can cost her the title. And the new Judgment Day can be Finn, Carlito, JD, Liv Morgan, and Dom. And you keep him as a heel. And then you have Rhea and Damian Priest be faces. So could happen like that.
That could work. That could work. I could get on board with that.
Yeah, or it could happen on the second match, and then we have an angry Rhea for the third one. But I don't think Rhea should win the title back into that third match. So maybe that happens on the second match. The second match, Dom finally turns on Rhea, and then Rhea can win the title back on the third one. So there's so many possibilities with that, man. That's why I think this is the number one storyline right now.
I got you.
Um, so last two things real quick. Well, actually last three. But this next one we can cover real quick. You had a take in the chat about the build up for Priest versus Gunther.
I hate it, man.
Uh,
I
but
hate it.
The floor is yours, brother. This is your
Why,
time.
like, why I don't like that. Like, why do we have to do trips? Look, we're camera man. Trips. Why do we have to do that? Why do we have to do the your poor street trash and my family gave me everything you don't deserve? Like, we don't have to do that. Like, it's pointless. That I've had all my life I've had to fight. Like, we don't have to go there with this. Like, and when did Gunther all of a sudden become a smug preppy? I went to the best schools my parents gave. Where the hell did that come from?
That's true. I
You like, where did that come from? He was just at Ing Denadal. That's it. He was just known for being a dope ass wrestler. But all of a sudden, is my parents were rich and gave me the best things in life. But like, who you Alberto Del Rio? All of a sudden, like, what happened? We don't have to do that.
so I guess
This is so WrestleMania 19
it
all over
is. It
again.
is. It's Triple H
Like
versus
we
Booker
like
T.
we don't have to do this, man.
Except for Gunther is probably gonna win. Like we wanted Booker T to win, but realistically,
He
we knew
should
that
have won.
Booker T should have won.
The story goes that the person who doesn't deserve it
He
and
should
the
have won.
underdog who fought and everything wins
But
that story.
we
And
knew.
oh, why are we talking about that? What made that even worse is Triple H hit that man with the pedigree and waited 55 seconds to
Seconds he
pin him.
did. He did.
And
He
waited
did.
55 seconds to
He
pin him.
did.
And still won.
But you know who was in charge. We know why that wasn't gonna happen, but we know who should have won. We know that. We know Booker T should have won. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't necessarily have an issue with it because I'm just assuming that they had to figure out a way to make this personal and make it interesting because
How about I'm better than you and I'm going to prove it?
so all right, here's the problem with that. And I'm just right now I'm just playing advocate right now, right? The only problem with that is that everybody already knows that Gunther is better than Priest. Like everybody already knows that. Everybody believes not only Gunther is better than Priest. A lot of people have Gunther as like in their top five in ring wrestlers. Like Gunther can legit make an argument that he's the best wrestler on earth.
So,
So
but listen. Like, you can do that, right?
right.
So you can do this storyline in a way you can keep the basis of it
Mm-hmm.
without having Gunther coming back as you don't deserve the time. Gunther can come in from the angle of I'm better than you. I've proven it. Everybody knows I'm better than you. And at SummerSlam, I'm finally going to show you that I'm better than you, right? Priest could come at the fact of that I've been going against people that's better than me all my life. People have told me I'm not worth. People have told me that X, Y, Z, but yet still here I am with the championship. You don't have to make it a I'm worthy, you're not, I'm rich, you're poor. You don't have to do that.
So all right. So to your point, you don't have to do that, right? Here's the only issue that I assume is going on, right? If you look at the SummerSlam card,
Say that word one more time.
if you look at the SummerSlam card,
There we go. All right.
I would argue that it's as of right before that promo Monday, it was the second least anticipated match. The least anticipated match on the card, even though I do think they're gonna give us a good match. I think Bailey versus Nia is the least interesting one.
Because we know Bailey's winning.
Right before that is Gunther versus Priest. Every other match in the card is more anticipated than that. The-
I don't have Logan Paul LA Knight as more anticipated than
I'm
Gunther, Damian Priest.
I have it higher simply because Logan Paul is in his hometown of Cleveland.
That man live in Puerto Rico.
He's from Cleveland. Like people are gonna be highly because as much as everybody think LA Knight is gonna win, there's a strong possibility. And actually, if I had to make a prediction right now, I'm going Logan Paul. I'm going Logan Paul winning that match. So I think that match is more anticipated. And I think the promos between them two has been better than what's going on with Gunther and Priest. But the problem is Priest versus Gunther is for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Hmm.
Like, that can't be just another match on the card. Like, don't get me wrong, Priest has been doing a great job. We love Gunther, but the other matches are more interesting. So I'm just looking at it from the perspective of they probably had to try to figure out a way to make this a highly anticipated match, and they went personal with it. Do I like that angle? Pause. No, but I don't know. I don't know how else you make it highly anticipated. I don't know how, because we got a short amount of time. We only got 2 weeks before SummerSlam. So how do you speed that up? And typically the formula has to been to make it personal in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So I wish it would have been done a different way, but I'm just looking at it from the perspective of it's for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's not like if this was Seth versus Gunther, you wouldn't. What you said just now works 100% because it's Seth versus Gunther. We already highly anticipate. Just like, for example, when they officially announced Ilja versus Braun versus Sammy, they don't have to do nothing because everybody's gonna be looking forward to that match. That match is gonna steal the show.
Right.
But Priest, even though he's a good in ring wrestler and he's been doing great work, he's not necessarily considered one of the best. So you got to do something to sell the match. So that's the only thing I would say. Otherwise, I agree with you. I wasn't necessarily impressed, but I understood it. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. So yeah. All right. Two more things, and then we
Hold
out.
on. Hold on.
I mean, you can drink good water, but
Trying to be professional on camera, man.
nah, I've been
Check
drinking
this
water.
out.
It's cool, man. Bloodline, bloodline.
Yeah. That sun went away. I got dark as hell, man. I'm like,
It
dog.
is cloudy outside.
It's about
For
to snow.
those of you who are, and I'm not gonna talk about this too much. I'm gonna get your thoughts because I said this on episode 8 or 9.
Hmm.
For those of you who hate on Solo, I don't understand. I don't understand it just from the perspective of you can tell when some people give promos that the moment may be too big for them.
Hmm.
You can tell through certain work. The only criticism of Solo that I have, as far as booking wise, is that you can't have him lose 23 straight matches and then only have him in matches with other people, like 6-man tag team match. No, the only one-on-one match he's had was versus Cody, and that match was all of 2 minutes. Now, for storyline purposes, we understand that, but and maybe it's because they saving him as a main attraction like they do Roman. He only wrestles at PLEs. I need
Hmm.
more one-on-one matches with Solo to build him up, right? That's my only criticism. But as far as the promo work, Solo's been killing
Solo
it.
been crushing. Solo
He
been crushing.
he been killing it. Like he been the whole storyline is believable. Um, he doesn't live like the moment, even the sidebars, because if you a wrestling fan, you know like they can give you words to say, and then sometimes you just go off and say what you want. Like shout
Right,
out to
right.
Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega has done that 2 weeks in a row with her promos. And so Solo saying during his promo, "Oh nah, y'all don't deserve Roman. Don't cheer for him now. You got me now."
He said, now you do. Yeah, now you
Yeah,
do. Now you
right.
want him now. Yeah, yeah, that's
Right.
dope.
That's not something that they told him to say. That's something that he said. So I think he's been killing it. But what's your take on Solo Bloodline? And you know you gotta, because the one thing that I will always acknowledge, you're more of an indie fan than me, so you know
Hmm.
you gotta give me your take on how they doing with Jacob Fatu right now.
I'll take it a step at a time. Solo's been doing great. Like I give him all the credit in the world. Like I was doubting it at first, but there's a term that certain people understand.
Hmm.
Sometimes you gotta learn in the fire.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you gotta stand there
yeah,
and sink or swim,
yeah.
right? And that's what he's doing right now. I'm gonna throw you out there, and it's your turn. Let me see if you can run this like you say you can.
Right.
And he's been crushing it. He's believable. He's He's on point with his promos
He got
and
an aura to
when
him.
yeah, when you play a certain character, sometimes you don't gotta wrestle much.
That's true.
Sometimes when you play a certain character, especially when you're the leader of a group or a pack, I got goons for this. I don't have to do nothing. I
Yeah,
got goons for this. It's
that's true.
only when it's time for me to step up. Okay, fine. Like they are fine. I'll do it myself. Like
Yeah.
so, he's been killing. The bloodline storyline is progressing well. The only one negative aspect I'll say about this is whenever this is over, right? Because like they've already signed Zilla, I think they've signed Hikaloa. Like when this is over, when the bloodline is finally said and done, what happens to everybody? Like there's a lot of Samoans they're hiring, but
Hmm.
when it's all over, what happens to everybody? Is everybody gonna land on their feet? I don't think so. I think maybe out of this, of course, the tag team will be all right. Maybe Solo will be okay. Like maybe I don't know. I have to see him do other things besides Bloor. I have to see him in another storyline that's not dominated by the bloodline because he was sort of gifted this. Like he sort of was gifted something man made, and he's adding to it. He's adding to the recipe. Don't get me wrong, but now when you have to create something that's original, let me see you do it. Because like I said, they failed with the John Cena thing. They failed with that, and of course, Jacob Fatu is going to be just fine. Like he's going to be just fine, and the best part about that is they haven't even unleashed him really yet.
Yeah.
He he's at like a 4 right now. They
Yeah.
haven't let him cut a promo for real. They haven't let him go just all out in the ring. That little springboard jump moonsault, that's like a fraction of what he can do in the ring.
Yeah.
And he's in better shape than what he was on the Indies, like
Hmm.
way better shape.
Yeah. He
Like
lost weight.
the things that Jacob can do, a man that size should not be able to do,
Yeah.
like at all. He shouldn't be able to move like that. So that's my only thing about the Bloodline storyline is what happens when it's over.
Yeah. He did Samoa and Kevin Owens, but probably more athletic. Um.
Like money match right now down the road. Imagine a Braun versus Jacob Fatu match.
Yeah.
That like that's money. That has money written on it.
Yeah, Solo's gonna be fine. Solo's the Braun Breaker of SmackDown, but even to another height. Because of the way they position him. I think when it's over, I think they have a plan for that. I don't. To be honest with you, I think the answer to your question is I don't think this is ever going to be over. Now, maybe the rivalry between these two groups is going to be over, but I think at the end we see the bloodline be one big group like yeah, NWO was.
Like it's one big stable.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one big stable, and you have Gorillas of Destiny gonna be fine because they could be a tag
A
team.
tag team. I said that.
Jacob's gonna be fine. Solo's gonna be fine. Romo, I mean Roman. Roman's not gonna be featured every week.
It's gonna be part time.
It's gonna be part time, and then and maybe you have still the bloodline, but maybe you have certain members on SmackDown or certain members on Raw. They don't all have to be on the same brand. But and they could get away with that. But Roman's not featured week to week. We know Jey Uso is going to be fine. The one person you worry about is Jimmy. And that's only because of what they did when Jimmy first had his heel turn, Jimmy was killing it, and then all of a sudden they made him a stooge. So, if the Usos come back together, they're gonna be fine. And then you got to see. I think the one person who I would worry about is Hikaloa. And that's only because we haven't seen him yet. But everybody else, you've had, and the thing about it is, you've had people vouch for every single last one that they've brought in. So yeah, I think they will be fine as long as Tonga Loa stays in the tag team. If they try to separate the two, then he's the one to worry about because he hasn't gotten off to the best start. But yeah, all right. Last thing, you want to do either or you want me to go with the last story and then we end with either or?
No, we end with either or.
All right, cool. So I'm not. I'm gonna just get your take. So I did this the IG story. I posted the video on Monday. By now, y'all know how I feel. Me and Book been having this debate for weeks, and what I've seen people in regards to the question. First of all, let's restate the question. The question was, who is the most important wrestler in the history of wrestling? I didn't. Some of you have, and I said it was between Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan. Some of you in the comments have responded and said, "Oh, more people know Hulk Hogan than they know Stone Cold." I didn't say who was more popular, even though
Mhm.
I would make the argument that Stone Cold might be just as popular. But I will say more people outside of the wrestling community, way more people know Hulk Hogan than Stone Cold. So I give it advantage there. But as who is more the most important. And when I say it's Stone Cold, I'm not saying that Hulk Hogan is not important. I think they top two. But I think Stone Cold is more important for the question that nobody has seemed to answer for me. Where would not where would WWE right now be right now, but where would wrestling be right now if there was no WWE? And nobody can answer that question for me. So what's your take on that? Who do you have? And I put other on purpose because I was going to see if somebody was going to say some other people. Like you could make an argument for Ric Flair and maybe a couple of others, but who do you think was more important between them two? And do you have one of them as the most important wrestler of all time?
Um, no disrespect to Stone Cold, but my answer is Hulk Hogan. Like
Okay.
we all, if you follow the pod and you know me personally, you know how I feel as Hulk, how I feel about Hulk Hogan as a wrestler.
Right.
But the significance of him to wrestling is top notch. And the only reason he beats out Stone Cold is just because he put two companies on his back.
Okay.
He put WWF on his back with the golden era, with the real American on it, because he carried wrestling in the 80s and the 90s. And then he saved WCW with the NWO.
So what I was saying the bug was number one, I believe some of them numbers inflated with Hulk Hogan. What I mean by that is
There were no streaming farms back then, man. That was all organic, brother.
no. What I mean by that is he didn't always have to win. I think part of his popularity is because of how much he was winning. I don't think he had to win that WrestleMania 4 against Macho. I think Macho is one of those people who could have eventually been just as popular as Hulk, but Hulk didn't want to
Agreed.
put him over.
Agreed.
So I think that's part of it. Like he even struggled putting over Warrior, and Warrior at one point was just as or more popular than Hulk, and that was because he won at WrestleMania 6. And I think Hulk was threatened by that. So that's what I mean by that. He didn't always have to win. And then I got a question for you. In
Okay.
WCW, who was more popular, Crow Sting or Hulk or Hollywood?
Hollywood.
You think so?
Yeah, Hollywood.
I say Crow Sting. Now, eventually, it was Hulk because of what they did with Sting's character. Like the minute they started having him talk, that took away from the aura of his
I
character.
mean, I'll put it like this: even if you go to now, when we go to events, I don't see no Crow Stain shirts, but I damn sure see NWO shirts out there.
That's true.
Still, to this day,
That's true. Okay. All
there's
right.
NWO shirts out there.
That's a good point.
Hey, I don't see no Crow Stain.
What about at that point when
I said
Krosting was making his return?
the character was dope, but more popular. Like I can't go against Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Like I
Okay.
just this
That's a fair
simple now.
point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. That's and I think him winning with WWE had a lot to do with that. I really do. But we I don't think nobody can answer that question for me as far as where wrestling would be right now if there's no WWE. WWE is the machine.
Mm-hmm.
In WWE, because people are trying to not necessarily knock them off, but prove they can be just as good. The machine has kept the competition alive. But and like I said, as far as in the wrestling community, I know people who don't watch New Japan Wrestling. I know people who don't like AEW. I know people who don't watch. A lot of people who don't
Yeah,
watch
I,
TNA. I
I
don't.
have.
You have people who, and even I was one of them before.
You were very stubborn.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I was one of those people who was about to convert to AEW because of some of the
Okay.
stuff that Vince McMahon was doing that I didn't agree with. I personally think the Tribal Chief character saved WWE at one point. But I was because of the stuff they was doing, like stuff Vince was doing, just didn't make sense. And I was like, I'm about to convert to AEW, but that's part of the critique. There's people who might have critique with WWE and might not like what's going on all the time prior to the Trips era, but you at least still paid attention. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
no wrestling fan who wasn't at least, at the very least, not paying attention to WWE. And so that's why I got Stone Cold, because without him, where not even without him, because he's the one that saved WWE, but without him, if WWE falls, how does wrestling look right now? WCW eventually crashed out. So who's
Mm-hmm.
the machine? You know what I'm saying? Like,
The machine is WWE, without a doubt. That's the
no,
machine.
I'm saying if WWE crashes,
Oh,
WCW still crashes because of the people that they still let in and the people that took
who
over.
got in charge? Yeah.
So how does wrestling look now? There's no WWE, there's no WCW. How will wrestling look now? It probably will be a dying sport. Like, let's just be honest. Like, New Japan Wrestling, they put on great matches. You know what I'm saying? People love them in that territory or whatnot. But it's not a global product.
It's not.
TNA,
I agree.
TNA, as good as moments that they had, it wasn't a global product. So that's the reason why I have Stone Cold.
Like, yeah, I understand that. Like, I'm not saying if you say Stone Cold, I don't say you're wrong.
Right.
And all the examples you have given, like with TNA, Ring of Honor, with New Japan, like there was at one point in time where TNA was kicking WWE's ass in terms of product,
Yeah. Yeah.
but WWE is just a machine.
It's a machine. Yeah.
Like they're just a machine. There's no company that can threaten the longevity of WWE and because of the money factor.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
Right. And they the mid W I mean mid W. WWE is like the McDonald's when it comes to fast food chains. Like, you may not
yeah.
always like the product, but when it comes to the product for the kids, they always get that right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the machine. So that's why I said, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't heavily argue anybody that says Hogan eating. I understand. I get it. Just for me, I don't think it's an undisputed thing. I don't think I've seen some people say it's not even close. I definitely disagree with that. And what made me think about it was I was watching a podcast. I can't remember what's the name of it, but Ric Flair was up there, and Ric
I
Flair.
can see somebody can say Ric Flair, and I wouldn't argue.
No. I'm saying Ric Flair said it. They
Oh,
asked him.
okay.
They asked him who's the most important wrestler ever, and he said Stone Cold. And when I listen to it, a lot of my reasonings come from what Ric Flair was saying, because when he was talking about it, I was like, you know what? Because before he said it, I had hope, and I was like, you know what? He right. Like, it really is Stone Cold. So it was because of what I heard Ric Flair say in his reasoning. I was like, yo, that makes a ton of sense. Like, he actually got a hell of a point. So what? And I want to make that clear. So for anybody watching this, these are not my original points. This is Ric Flair. I just expounded on that. So Rick, if you ever see that, I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but he he actually convinced me. He swayed me. So all right. So let's end with either or, man. What you got?
Well, for those new time watchers and listeners to the pod, we like to end with either or, where we give just some wrestling based questions and you got to choose which one best suits you. So it's on Steve tonight.
Pause.
So let pause it. Just pause that just in case. Yep. So would you rather?
Okay.
Would you rather face the Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell or Brock Lesnar in the Steel Cage match?
Would I rather
Yeah, would you rather face Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell or Brock Lesnar in the Steel Cage match?
Undertaker Hell in the Cell? I don't want no smoke with Brock. I've seen Brock Lesnar in person. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
juggernaut.
yeah, that man's not human. Yeah.
Yeah, nah, I'm good.
Would you rather win the Royal Rumble but lose at WrestleMania, or lose the Royal Rumble but win the championship at SummerSlam?
Huh?
All right, would you rather win the Royal Rumble but
Uh
lose the match at WrestleMania,
huh.
or lose the Royal Rumble, like you don't win, but win the championship at SummerSlam?
So in the second scenario, I would still lose at WrestleMania, right?
No, you lost the Royal Rumble, but let's just say you won Money in the Bank or somehow you got a championship match at SummerSlam.
Oh, okay. Um, win the Royal Rumble and lose at WrestleMania. Because if we have a classic match, that still be
Yeah,
remembered. So
you're still the main event of WrestleMania.
yeah, I'm still the
Yeah,
main event of
you
WrestleMania.
still
So
go on last.
right,
Would you rather be a high flying cruiserweight, or a powerhouse heavyweight?
powerhouse heavyweight. They the
I
ones
knew
that get
that.
all the
Yeah,
promotion.
I knew that about you.
Yeah,
I didn't even know I asked that one.
they get all the promotion. You gotta be Shawn Michaels to get some promotion as a cruiserweight.
The goat. Uh, would you rather be managed by Paul Heyman, or have The Rock as your tag team partner?
Managed by Paul Heyman.
Right. Would you rather have a career like John Cena with multiple championships but hated by the fans, or a career like Daniel Bryan with fewer titles but universally loved by the fans?
Daniel Bryan. That's easy. Well, because John Cena, I mean, at one point he was hated, but he's beloved now. Everybody
Yeah,
respects John.
now,
Yeah, now,
now,
but
yeah.
he went through some rough times. I'm gonna still go DB there.
I'm interested to hear your answer about this one. Would you rather have Ric Flair's charisma or Shawn Michaels' in-ring ability?
I'm gonna go Ric Flair's charisma.
Yeah, I'm taking that one as well. Yeah,
Ain't necessarily got to be as long as I'm great at wrestling. If I have Ric Flair's charisma, I'm still over.
you still
For
over by a
example,
lot. Yeah,
L.A. Knight. So
yeah.
yeah, give me Ric Flair's charisma.
All right. Would you rather wrestle in the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era?
Ooh, that's a tough one because Attitude Era got the better superstars, but I made the argument that the wrestling got better in the Ruthless Aggression Era. Um, I'm gonna go Attitude Era though. I'm gonna go Attitude Era only because that's a more memorable era. So whatever matches I put on, if they classic, it'll be more memorable than the Ruthless Aggression Era. I give you an example. John Cena versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam is one of the most underrated matches of all time. It's a certified classic, both of them. But a lot of people don't remember it. So
Just
yeah,
because a lot of people don't remember it, does that make it a classic? Does that not make it a classic? A lot of people don't remember it.
nah. I mean, it's still you could forget about a match and it could be a classic. You just it just may not stand out as far as your memory as the first matches you think about. I give you an example. So Randy Orton and John Cena's second match at SummerSlam is better than Taker versus Stone Cold at SummerSlam. But the more memorable match,
What year? What Taker is what, 98?
yeah,
With Highway to
Taker's,
Hell?
yeah,
Okay.
that's a more memorable match because they two of the most popular superstars of all time. It doesn't mean that Randy Orton versus John Cena not a classic, but
I get it. Yeah,
when you think about classics, it's not one of the first ones you think about. So yeah.
I hear you. I got one more, right? Like, this seems obvious, but I'm trying to word it in a way so I can get a honest answer out of you. So we're gonna go with, all right. So we're gonna. I don't want to say so. Don't think about most memorable call, right?
Right.
Think about my which one of these is the most impactful call, right?
Okay.
So it's three.
Okay.
Jim Ross, Jim Ross, good God Almighty, they killed him. As God is my witness, he's broken in half.
Hell in a Cell.
That's right. Jim Ross, Mama Foley's, that's right. He's done it. He's done it. Mama Foley's baby boy has won the world title.
Mankind. Okay.
Uh huh. And the last one is, yeah, we're saved. The WCW is saved. Here comes Hulk Hogan. Yeah, but whose side is he on?
Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Which one of those calls is most impactful?
Who?
If I would have said memorable, of course, it's the Hell in the Cell, right? But which one is most impactful?
Nah. If you would have asked memorable, I would have said the last option.
Over Hell in the Cell?
Yeah, because for me, I remember being a kid, and when he said it, and you look at Hulk Hogan's expression, you like, oh snap!
The
Like whose
great part
side is he
about that,
really on?
listen to, if you listen to Eric Bischoff's podcast, 83 Weeks,
Yeah,
but that was Bobby Heenan's character. Like he's
yeah,
always hated Hulk Hogan. He's always said
yeah,
Hulk Hogan is dirty. He's no good. They
right,
didn't know what happened. The announcers were blind, just like everybody else. They didn't know
yeah,
what was going on. So he just said it in character. Like, yeah, but whose side is he on?
yeah. Most impactful though. That's the question, right? Most impactful. I would, I probably would say, oh man, that's actually tough. All right, so the second one's out because
Yeah.
it's a the
It's a
moment.
moment. It's a
Yeah,
moment.
it's a
It's a moment.
moment. Yeah, if it was most impactful moment, I would say the second one simply because it worked against WCW favor announcing that would happen because everybody
That's
tuned into that.
that's why I put it on there. Right.
But
Yeah.
the second was out because it's a moment. So between obviously the first one and the third one, most impactful only because it's more universally known to people outside of the wrestling community. I'm gonna go with one. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go.
I know. Yeah, even though as bad as I want to put three,
Yeah,
because but it was something so subtle. Yeah, but whose side is he on? It
yeah,
was something so subtle that was so great in a pantheon of how things played out.
yeah,
But what's universally more known is definitely number one.
yeah. Like impactful wise, like you people who not even wrestling fans, they know
Know
that
that clip.
call, they know that
Hmm.
clip. But that the first question that you was about to ask more memorable for wrestling fans, I think it's three. I
Yeah,
think it's
agreed.
three. I think it's three because like I said, I remember where I was at.
Me too.
Don't get me wrong,
Me
I
too.
remember that for King of the Ring too. But
Right.
like that's a moment that froze time. That what he said that froze time. Like that was when the situation happened with Undertaker and Mankind throw him off. The number one you think about is my God. That just happened.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the moment in that situation was bigger than the call. But at that time when Heenan said that, that was like, yo, like he might actually turn it and it happened.
We
So
might have to save this, but we're gonna have an honest conversation about the Hell in a Cell match one of these days too.
I thought we already addressed that. It was a moment. It wasn't a classic
Oh,
match. It's a class. It's
okay.
classic moments.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, never
Save
mind. We're
that.
gonna save that.
See, I'm about to say,
We're gonna
see,
save
yeah.
that. I
I
only,
watched it recently. I was like, there's a lot of moments.
but
It's a lot of moments.
for the type of match it was, I mean, it's top three Hell in a Cell matches of all time. For the type of match it is, for the if we talking about just stipulation matches, and we just talking about top Hell in a
It
Cell
won't.
matches, you got to
It
put it
won't
top
even.
three.
It won't even the main event.
It won't, and that's
People forget it won't even the main event.
that's what made it
There was
so
another
great.
match on after that.
If you hear the backstory behind it,
Those people still had to be involved in.
it's kind of similar to the WrestleMania 25 thing. Like they won't. I want to say it was rushed on the car. It wasn't originally supposed. What it was. It was originally supposed to be on the car, but it won't hype. And Mick Foley and Taker was like, "Yo, We just gonna put on a hell of a show, and they did. The moments are bigger, but what happened after Mankind got up off the stretcher? They still put on a quality match after. I think that. I think that's why I'm still leaning towards classic
A
because
quality match. Watch that again.
but no, like, because what do you expect? Like,
Oh,
even if you know
all right,
wrestling,
let's talk. All right, let's talk. It's not better than the first Hell in a Cell match.
no, nah, that's number one.
It's not better than Triple H versus Cactus Jack.
Let me go back and watch that. Matter of fact, let's send me your matches that you think is better than. I'm gonna go back and watch it, and then we'll circle back and talk to
Off
it.
the top of my head,
Well,
I
no,
can't.
my bad. The greatest Hell in a Cell match ever is WrestleMania 28,
That's
Taker
Taker
versus
versus Taker.
Triple H with
That's
Shawn as a
and
referee.
Navarro, right?
Yeah, that's
All
number
right.
one. That's
Okay,
number
so
one.
that's one, right? That's one.
Yeah.
It's not. It's that's one. It's not better than the first Hell in a Cell. It's
All
not
right,
better
that's
than.
two. That's two.
It's not better than Triple H Cactus Jack
I
was
gotta
that.
rewatch that.
That was no way out.
I gotta
That was
rewatch
no
that.
way out.
I gotta
With the
rewatch that.
stipulation that with the stipulation of his match, it's not better than Edge Undertaker.
I don't know. You talking
It's
about
not better.
SummerSlam?
Yeah, it's not
I
better
think
than
it
Edge
might be better than
Undertaker.
that. I think it might be better. I remember that match. I think it might be better than that. I think it might be
Okay.
better than that. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it though, but I think it might be better than that.
And do you think that that is, if we're just talking wrestling, why wrestling
Mm.
quality, is that match better than the tag match? No.
Usos versus New Day.
Yeah,
I
no, it's
give you
not.
that. It's not better than that.
Yeah,
That was a
I
great
got,
match. That was a hell of
I
a
got,
match.
I got five better than that. And if you want to, I can mess around and put Becky versus Sasha in there.
No, nah, nah, nah. I give you three. I'm gonna go back and watch Cactus Jack
Okay,
versus
all
Triple
right.
H. I give you three for right now.
That's four.
No, I said I'm gonna go back and watch Triple H.
All
So
right.
we got WrestleMania
Oh,
28, we
uh
got
huh.
New Day versus Usos,
Uh
and we got
huh.
the first one. I give you those three. I'm gonna go back and watch Triple H and Cactus Jack and get back to you next episode.
What about Taker versus Brock?
No,
Okay.
no, mm-mm,
All
nah.
right. So you say so you got three. Oh no, we might gotta poll this one. Pause.
Yeah,
Pause. Pause.
yeah,
Pause.
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 But yeah,
Pause.
yeah, we might have to take it to the polls on that pause.
But
But
it was a dope moment, like for history and lore. But as a match, there was no wrestling in that match. There was no wrestling in that match.
there was wrestling when he got back in the
That
ring.
that no, there wasn't because
Man,
he couldn't do anything. There was no moves.
I'm gonna go
There was
back.
moves. It
I
was. Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
go
Go
back.
ahead.
I'm gonna watch that tonight. I'm gonna go back and watch both Taker versus Mankind and Cactus Jack versus Triple H. I'm gonna watch both of those tonight, and we're gonna talk about it next episode. I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk about it. All right. Well, appreciate y'all tuning in. Episode
Yeah.
10.
Facts, man. Facts.
This will be dropped by July 18th, which is tomorrow, which is Thursday. Might have it out for you today, but definitely by tomorrow. Continue to check us out, man. Whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, and we got our credentials now, so we'll be live on YouTube soon. So continue to check us out, man. Have conversations. Who knows? Next episode, when we introduce the third man, we might just go live on YouTube and have our first ever live episode, man. So stay tuned. Check us out, man. Follow
Facts.
us. Talk to us. Engage with us, which you have been doing, man. So and look forward to seeing some of y'all at SummerSlam,
Yeah,
man.
facts. And I'm not watching. Thank y'all for letting us be y'all tour guide on this thing called wrestling, man. We out.
Hey, y'all have a great week, man.
Peace, man.